Overwhelmingly, I have negative comments about their failure to be good economic managers, which is somewhat ironic given that their mantra and their constant repetition is that they've been good managers of the economy. When Stephen Harper formed minority parliament government in 2006, Canada had been riding on successive years of surpluses. In fact, the Conservatives criticized the previous Liberal governments for running surpluses. Came to power and very quickly did a couple of things. It doesn't take an economics degree to recognize that if you cut the flow of revenue and increase spending, you're going to run into deficits. So the reality is that Canada was weakened when the 2008 recession hit. The financial meltdown of fall of 2008 hit in the first quarter in which Canada was posting deficits. So the deficit was created by deep slashing of the corporate tax rate, cutting the GST by 2 points, of the effect of depriving Canada's general revenues of billions of dollars every year, and at the same time, increasing spending. So this is what's called a structural deficit created by cutting revenues and boosting spending. So Stephen Harper's been the biggest spending prime minister we've ever had. Now, no question, the 2008 financial crisis put pressures on every government around the world. Fortunately for Canada, previous governments, another benefit of what Stephen Harper inherited when he became prime minister, was that the previous government under the Liberals rejected calls from Mr. Harper's party, the Alliance Party, and from the big banks to allow deregulation, to allow the banking industry in Canada to go global, join in what I refer to, I didn't coin the term, but casino capitalism, where enormous profits are made out of bubbles, illusory creations of money out of nothing, such as the derivatives trading, basically selling bad debt paper and disguising to the clients on Wall Street down in the US that the debt paper that was being sold was pretty rotten. So as an economic manager, I think this is a poor track record. We are now still experiencing very persistent unemployment among youth. 14% unemployment among young people in Canada. That's twice the national average. I regard this as a major priority for future budgets. It's I think, unforgivable to have tens of thousands, in fact, hundreds of thousands of temporary foreign workers coming to Canada for surface level entry jobs that would at least be not the job of your dreams as a university student, but a job. And we are not doing, I think, nearly enough to ensure that young people are employed and the economy is moving. And then last point before I move to the next question, we should be moving in a direction of a green economy. So my other criticism of Stephen Harper is that he's allowing our economy to become simplified and in the sense of too many eggs in one basket. And as the carbon issue moves forward, as we see carbon pricing globally, betting the farm on oil sands as a big generator of wealth, which frankly it isn't in Canada. We're told all the time that we need it for our hospitals and blah, blah, blah. When you look at the actual numbers, it's a very small contributor to our overall GDP. Public service jobs, for example, far outweigh oil sands jobs as where we get the revenue that makes us have hospitals and schools and so on. So a more diversified economy is always going to be a healthier economy, and we should be ensuring that we have manufacturing jobs, pulp and paper jobs. We should be ensuring that we have jobs in the renewable energy sector, and those jobs are real jobs based in Canada, not just the constant repetition of slogans that somehow we're going to create jobs by not taxing corporations. On the contrary, what we have are corporations piling up large amounts of capital, which has been taken out of use in the economy. Former governor of the Bank of Canada, Mark Carney, calls it dead money. So we have to get that money circulating back into the economy by raising the corporate tax level to somewhere in the middle range of the OECD nations. Right now, we're at 14%. We're the lowest corporate tax rate of any country in the industrialized world. It's not to our advantage to peg ourselves so low. We should be more in the mid-range.